Welcome back to your Gabby training. I'm Alicia, your virtual Gabby coach. I'm here to support your Gabby training along with your own personal Gabby coach. Today in this video, we will be learning about the present perfect tense. What is the present perfect verb tense? Let me give you some examples. I've worked in Vancouver since 2016. It has rained a lot this year. She has walked to her office many times. They've just ended their meeting. We've seen the movie Titanic. Did you notice the verb seen in that last example? This is the verb to see, but it is an irregular verb in the present perfect and in many other verb tenses. For example, in the simple present, we say we see. In the simple past, we say we saw. And, like in the example, in the present perfect, we say we have seen. There are many other irregular verbs in the present perfect, but I'm sure with more training with your Gabby coach and in your self-training, you will start to recognize them on your own. The present perfect is used to show a connection between the present and the past. So the action that we talk about is a time before now, but not too specific, and we're more interested in the result than the action itself. As you can see in all the examples I gave you, we can use the present perfect in many different ways. Here are 5 main ways that we use the present perfect. Number 1, we use the present perfect to talk about an action that started in the past and continues into the present. Number 2, we use the present perfect to talk about an action that started in the past in a certain time period that is not finished yet. Number 3, we use the present perfect to talk about a repeated action that happened in a non-specific time during the past to now. Number 4, we use the present perfect to talk about something in the recent past by using the word just. And number 5, we use the present perfect to talk about something that happened in the past when the time does not matter. When you hear the present perfect tense, you might ask yourself, how do I know when to use the present perfect tense or the simple past to talk about the past? Here are some examples to help you. I lived in Vancouver, but never Toronto, versus I lived in Vancouver in 2015. When someone says, I've lived in Vancouver, but never Toronto, the exact time that they lived in Vancouver is not important, so they use the present perfect. When someone says, I lived in Vancouver in 2015, they are giving details about where they lived using the exact time, and that is why they use the simple past. When someone wants to give specific details about when, where, or who, they will use the simple past and not the present perfect. For example, I traveled to Canada last year, versus I've traveled to Canada last year. Which sentence do you think sounds more natural? The first one, exactly. Because the speaker is giving specific details about when they traveled to Canada, they use the simple past and not the present perfect. Alright, now that we've learned about all the different ways we can use the present perfect, are you ready to practice? Great. I am going to ask you a question now. Please answer with a yes and use a complete sentence, so use all of the words that I include in my question. Ready? Let's go. Have you met your coach? The answer is yes, I've met my coach. Great. Let's try another example. Again, please answer with a yes. Let's go. Have they reserved the conference room for this afternoon? The answer is yes, they've reserved the conference room for this afternoon. Great, now let's move on so you can practice answering with a no. And again, please use a complete sentence. Here we go. Have they been to the Apple Store yet? The answer is no, they haven't been to the Apple Store yet. Let's try another example. Again, please answer with a no. Have our international customers been satisfied? The answer is no, our international customers haven't been satisfied. Did you notice the irregular verb in those last two examples? That's right, the verb to be becomes have been in the present perfect. Good job. Now it is time to do some self-training. Remember, the more you practice, the easier it will become to recognize and to use the present perfect in your own conversations. And remember, faster is better than perfect. And your Gabby coach is there to help you with any questions that you have after your self-training.